Democrats hereby win the Tim Pool inaugural Stupidest Day in History Award for simultaneously announcing articles of impeachment while giving Trump one of his biggest, most historical victories for his presidency. Donald Trump's USMCA was announced by the Democrats, and it seems like it will be moving forward over a year after it was first signed. Now, Democrats are saying they've made some modifications to it, they've negotiated, but it is moving forward. This is a historic victory for Donald Trump, coming about an hour after they announced they were going to impeach the guy. Coming only a few days after record-breaking economic numbers, jobs, unemployment, wage growth. Coming at a time when there is overwhelming opposition from moderate voters to the impeachment process, and coming, I kid you not, at the same time that a top Ukrainian official has come out saying there's no pressure and casting doubts on impeachment. All of this on the same day. Dare I say, you have Donald Trump, who is by far not the most popular president, but certainly presiding over a large economic expansion, seeing his trade deal, which even Nancy Pelosi says is much better than NAFTA, be accomplished, be done. And the narrative is falling apart. Not only are they announcing impeachment after all these things, but they're announcing it after a new poll comes out showing they are now losing to Trump in key swing states just after the announcement of impeachment. They just keep going. So you know what? I can make 50 million backfiring videos. Oh, impeachment backfires again, but I kid you not, impeachment backfires is now literally trending on Twitter. So you know what? The Democrats have earned the Stupidest Day in History award from me. But let's break all this stuff down. We also have this funny article I'll get to. Schiff argues that waiting on impeachment would be letting Trump cheat one more time, as if Trump cheated the first time. You see the game they're playing? We are truly living in this stupidest time. But you know what? Look, for all of Trump's faults, he has a lot of things going for him right now, and the Democrats. You know what's happening? It's not about whether or not Trump is a good president. There are things he can take credit for. It's about the fact that the Democrats are worse at everything. That's really it. And you know, you come to a point where you get someone with a character like Trump that I personally don't like, that many people don't like, whose policies many people don't like, but they're sitting there going like, what am I supposed to vote for? You know what I mean? It's like, it's not even an issue of lesser of two evils. It's like complete and total incompetence. Okay, you know what? Let's read the story. We'll break all this stuff down. Before we get started, head over to timcast.com/donate if you would like to support my work. There are several ways you can help me out. Cryptocurrency, PayPal option, physical address. But the best thing you can do, share this video. This video it got a super biased title and thumbnail, so I get it if people don't want to click it, you know, but whatever, man. You know, every so often I'll have some pretty hyperbolic comment, but I gotta say it. I do. It's how I feel. This is my opinion, and I'm going to show you why I feel this way, but really, the Democrats, what are you doing? I almost feel like, I got to be honest, I almost feel like Republicans purposefully lost 2018 just so that Democrats would pull something like this. They didn't, I know. There's recently another announcement about another Republican retiring. A lot of Republicans retiring today. But how is this, how could they have made this so bad? You know, instead of looking at what Trump is doing and telling the people they could do better and focusing on real issues, they're like, we're going to impeach the president. Also, he made a really great deal, the best deal. Check out this story. House Democrats announced deal on U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Now, the few important points is that Nancy Pelosi says she's not obstructing. She's been working on this for a long time. She's been negotiating with a trade representative, and that this deal is substantially better than what Trump offered her. She actually said it was infinitely better, I believe. Donald Trump is obviously happy, but here's a quote. There is no question, of course, that this trade agreement is much better than NAFTA. But in terms of our work here, it is infinitely better than what was initially proposed by the administration. Okay, I get it. You're going to take credit. Trump's going to take credit. Trump's going to say it's my deal. It's the best deal ever. But you're both saying it's better than NAFTA, and Donald Trump is the one who made this happen. Okay? You contributed. Absolutely respect that. Thank you, Democrats, for helping to make NAFTA better. But you got to understand, I'm sorry, the USMCA, not NAFTA. I mean, technically, it's making NAFTA better. It's the North America Free Trade Agreement. Now it's the USMCA, a new deal. This deal is going to be in place for a long time. This is a presidential moment for Donald Trump. This is a historical victory. His trade deal, which he started, We now have bipartisan support and agreement that is the right thing. But this comes the same day. House Democrats are announcing articles of impeachment against Trump for abuse of power, obstruction of Congress. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What happened to bribery, extortion, etc.? No, it's abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. And I got to say, the Democrats have one good point here. First of all, abuse of power is predicated upon the assumptions of motive, which they have not proven, which they didn't even ask about. They're saying Trump was using his power in office to get leverage against a political rival, but they did not explain what his motives were. Weeding out corruption, working against Biden. Now, I know some of you may say, what do you mean? The whole thing was about him helping Biden. They never asked that. Not once did they ask, what was Trump's frame of mind pertaining to Biden? Was Trump scared about losing to Biden? The polls show impeachment backfired and is helping Donald Trump, okay? Trump didn't do anything. Sure, maybe he tried, fine, whatever. It's you who gave Trump the edge. So if Trump, I'll tell you what, okay, fine. I'll concede Trump is a mastermind, not playing 4D chess, 5D chess. See, Trump knew that he needed impeachment to win back the polls from Biden. Check this out. Impeachment is helping Trump in 3 key battleground states. See, the projections had Democrats beating Trump, especially Biden. We can see here in September, it downturns. After the launch of impeachment to today, Trump now has the lead. So sure, make the argument that Trump planned the whole thing out. I'll talk about Ukraine, but not enough, thus triggering the Democrats to investigate. I'll blame them saying nothing happened, and then the impeachment process will give me the lead I need. No, come on, that's not what happened. Trump was bumbling about. You know, he heard some stories from some people about Biden, and he's like, look into this. You know, I don't know what's going on here. And Trump's details on the phone call, it seemed like Trump didn't really know a whole lot, but he was like, if it's bad, it's bad. I certainly think Trump is upset about Russiagate, sure. But you know, they're still invoking Russiagate, right? But I will say this. The House may have one thing here. Abuse of power is not proven. It's ridiculous. I think it's silly. They do have obstruction. I'll give it to them. See, Trump ordered several of his staff not to testify, refusing to give up documents and things like that. So they have an argument that Trump is obstructing their investigation. I think the big challenge is that Democrats have been, you know, here's how I described it on Twitter. It's basically like a Benny Hill chase scene. You ever see those old clips from the Benny Hill show where it plays that music? Na 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 na. And it's basically him running and he's holding his hat and it's like he's in his underwear and the cops are like swinging their sticks at him. That's what it is. They've been chasing Trump nonstop, trying to get him for something. And so they keep doing these things that amount to nothing. And then they say, oh, but we're not getting anything because Trump won't cooperate. So I'm just like, dude, you know what? Never been a big fan of the guy. But this, I'll put it this way. I dislike Trump. I think he's got, look, I get it. His character, you're fired, you know, the celebrity, the gravitas of all that, the person he was purporting to be. It's very different from who he is in private. I understand that. I think there's a lot of things he could do better. You hear me say it all the time. Put it that way. I dislike most of the 2020 Democrats, but there's a couple I actually admire. I think Andrew Yang has got a storied career, and I respect him a lot. Tulsi Gabbard, for instance. I actually, believe it or not, do think well of Cory Booker. I think Booker's pandering. He panders too much, and he tries to act like a cool uncle. It doesn't play out for him. But I've seen some candid videos of him where I do think well of the guy. Elizabeth Warren has done some great things in terms of talking about surveillance and Facebook and big tech. Can respect that as well. But for the most part, I generally dislike a lot of, you know, these Democrats like Pete Buttigieg now. He's doing these big get-rich fundraisers, billionaires. I'm not playing that game. But there's a few Democrats I like, right? So I'll put it this way. Dislike Trump. Dislike most Democrats, but admire a couple, okay? And Trump does deserve credit for some things. I despise the House Democrats. And I thought about this today. I'm like, man, you know, it's a strong thing to say, but I really do despise them. And sure, you want to be one of these lefty Hillary bros or whatever who likes the Pelosi's, the Schumers, the Nadlers. I like Ocasio-Cortez more than I like these Democrats now. Okay, I'll tell you what. At least AOC flip-flops and seems confused half the time, right? I can respect that AOC, while I do think she's got a narcissism thing going on, at least she's just doting about due to ignorance. Like, come on, man. Pelosi, you had to see how bad this is getting. You know, Adam Schiff is violating civil rights and privacy rights, leaking journalists' private information. Like, dude, you know what, man? I despise these people. And that says a lot. So I'll tell you what, this puts me in an awkward position. But I will say, while I disagree with the constant scandals, you know, that they've been keep chasing after Trump for, It's a weird technicality where they're going to get the obstruction thing. It's like, should Trump really cave in to the nonsense and fake scandals and fake investigations over and over and over again? Unfortunately, they are weaponizing the system against them, and they have something here. They really do. Whether you think it's justified or not is the point. They can say, Trump did this. Now, in the end, it doesn't matter. Trump's going to win, period. Trump's going to, it's going to go to the Senate. It's going to get kicked out. I don't think we're going to see anything here. But I have so much more to talk about. Let's move on. Did you know that the USMCA was drafted on the 30th of September 2018? They're only now doing it. I get that Nancy Pelosi says that she was negotiating, but come on, man. I think impeachment was in the way the whole time, and they could have been focusing on real issues, and they did not. So now I want to talk to you about why they're going to earn the stupidest award from me. Democrats sing different tunes on impeachment. You see, I showed this article before. I'm not going to read through it. I'll just give you the gist. The 2020 Democrats are backing away from impeachment. This is from December 3rd, saying things like, we've got to focus on, yeah, we don't like Trump, but we've got to focus on what Americans need and want. The Democrats running for president know they're not going to win with this impeachment nonsense. And for the House Democrats to announce, we're drafting articles of impeachment the same day, they say, and also, Trump, we agree on your historical trade deal. I'm like, what are you doing? And they're doing it just after the jobs numbers. Look at this. This article right here, it's a twofer. Wall Street soars after economy added a robust 266,000 jobs in November. Now, the number was boosted by 50,000 GM workers coming back from a strike, but it's still 215K or 216K or so, plus record low unemployment, record wage growth, labor force, consumer confidence, all amazing. And not only that, it results in Wall Street soaring. People's 401ks or IRAs, ooh, they're probably way up. What I heard numbers like 15 to 30% this year. All of this is happening. And the Democrats, so imagine you're a middle American. Imagine you're in some small bumpkinville town in the middle of nowhere, and many of you may be. You've seen your jobs go away. You've seen your town start falling apart. People are leaving, looking for work. It is a crisis in what the Democrats refer to as flyover states. A bit dismissive, right? All of a sudden, Trump comes in, the economy's soaring. You got a job, you're making money, your family is surviving again. You know, your kids are getting ready to go to school, you're saving money. And then you look at these numbers and you're like, man, Trump really did it. You know, he secured the border, he's reformed immigration, he's done what he's promised to do, the economy's doing better. And then Nancy Pelosi says, I agree with you. You know, Trump's economic deal with Mexico and Canada is a great deal. And you're like, there it is. And then they go, and now we're going to impeach him. And you're like, wait, what? What? How does that make sense? It doesn't. They're not speaking to regular Americans. They're speaking to the woke Twitterati. Yes, you hate the orange man, so we will impeach him. So I got some more stuff. Look at this. They announced impeachment. This is from, I believe this is from today, right? 10:30 a.m. And we got exclusive. Top Ukraine official Andriy Yermak casts doubt on key impeachment testimony. How can it be that the purported victims of Donald Trump's scheme they keep saying, stop, we have no idea what you're talking about? Now, I'll be fair. It has been said to me, expressed, that they're only saying that because Trump is still in office. And if they come out against him and then Trump isn't impeached because the Senate's controlled by Republicans, they're in dire straits. They're in trouble now. Now they oppose Trump. I say to you, I respect the idea. I entertain the possibility, but I have to defer to Occam's razor. In my opinion, they also have every reason to come out against Trump. If Trump really was threatening to do these things, then absolutely they'll be like, yes, please help, impeach the man. If Yermak and Zelensky came out and said Trump was pressuring us, we were terrified, Trump would be out in 2 seconds. And then they would get in some favorable, who knows who. No, they have every reason. So listen, I'm not even going to speculate. I am not going to speculate as to the frame of mind. I can only go on the testimony. Think about it this way. If you had a victim who was robbed, and you're in a trial, and the victim's on the stand saying, I wasn't robbed by this man, and the state's like, you were, no, stop. And they were like, I don't know what you're talking about. This dude simply asked to borrow money and I said it was okay. No, but you were pressured into it. No, I wasn't. And then all of a sudden the prosecutor argues to the jury, this man is just scared. He is only claiming to not be a victim. What? I'm sorry, dude. I don't care what your speculation is. We go by what they're telling us. Time magazine reports that in his first interview about those public hearings, Yermak has questioned the recollections of crucial witnesses in the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump's alleged abuse of his office for political gain. This day is historic. and will be the stupidest day, thanks to Democrats. Because, like I stated, you got these record job numbers, you got collapsing polls for Democrats, you got them agreeing with the USMCA, you've got all of this, and then their key witness testimony is being rejected by actual Ukrainians. He says, listen, I want to tell you straight, Yermak told Time. Of course now, when I watch these shows on television, my name often comes up, and I see people there whom I recognize, whom I have met and know. That is their personal opinion, especially the positions they've expressed while under oath. I have my own truth. I know what I know. The most crucial point at which Yermak's recollection contradicts the testimony of the inquiry's witnesses relates to a meeting in Warsaw on September 1st, when Ukrainian President Zelensky met with U.S. Vice President Pence. The meeting was part of an ongoing effort by the Zelensky administration to improve ties with the Trump administration. One of the American diplomats who attended that meeting, Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the EU, testified before the inquiry last month that he pulled Yermak aside after the Warsaw meeting and delivered an important message. U.S. aid to Ukraine would probably not resume until Zelensky's government announced 2 investigations that could implicate President Trump's political rivals. Quote, I told Mr. Yermak that I believed that the resumption of U.S. aid would likely not occur until Ukraine took some kind of action on the public statement that we had been discussing for many weeks, Sondland testified. Yermak disputes this. Gordon and I were never alone together, he said when Time asked about the Warsaw meeting. We bumped into each other in the hallway next to the escalator as I was walking out. He recalls that several members of the American and Ukrainian delegations were also nearby, as well as bodyguards and hotel staff. And I remember, everything is fine with my memory. We talked about how well the meeting went. That's all we talked about. Keep in mind, Gordon Sondland was later implicated by ProPublica for harassing, Me Tooing several women. I don't think the guy who flip-flopped in his testimony several times and is accused of abusing women, a guy who essentially bought his position anyway, and yes, a critique of Trump. Sondland donates $1 million to Trump's inaugural committee or whatever. Trump gives an ambassadorship. Not the guy I'm going to trust, okay? And I'll tell you what, neither is Trump. But Trump did release the transcript, and this guy is saying what Trump said, is backing, is rejecting this testimony. Listen, man. The narrative is broken. The Democrats have nothing. It is the most absurd and insane thing. And let me just lay it out for you in no uncertain terms. Schiff argued today that Trump was doing it, quote, again. What do you mean again? We had 3 years of this Russiagate stuff, and Mueller comes out and he's like, no collusion. And Schiff says, let him cheat one more time. One more time? What parallel reality do you live in? It's like the Mueller report drops and Adam Schiff's eyes roll in the back of his head, and then he just can't read anymore, and he's like, but it was time now. It's unfair. Oh. And then all of a sudden, once the report's gone, his eyes come back. I'm sorry, dude. Mueller came out and said, no, it didn't happen. We know Russia was trying to interfere. Even BuzzFeed reported that the Russia bot narrative is completely overblown, overhyped. This is BuzzFeed News reporting this. And Schiff comes out and says he's going to do it again. You know what, man? Completely. Why don't you just let him cheat in one more election? He cheated in a different one? Look, you know what? This is not how you win. They live in some psychotic, paranoid reality. And it's not, listen, okay, I assure you, when the moderates are flipping, and the Democrats are the only ones holding on. Even Democratic support has gone down. Tom Brokaw. Impeachment process is making eyes glaze over. Former longtime NBC Nightly News anchor Tom Brokaw called impeachment hearings of President Trump a show on both sides that makes American voters' eyes glaze over. Yes, I turned the hearing off the other day. You know why? It was like the 4th time I heard the exact same thing from Democrats. Trump used his position for personal gain against a political rival. I'm like, you said that 10 minutes ago. This is really funny. I'll paraphrase. Was it Chris Wallace, I think, from Fox News He said, it's been said already, but I guess not by everyone. So we're going to sit here as everyone says the same thing. Something like that. And I laughed when I saw that clip on Twitter. I'm like, thank you. I shut it off. It's so insane. I'll tell you. It looks like, according to most polls, the general voter, there is more support for impeachment than opposition to it. But that's because Democrats are in a tribal bubble. See, moderates and Republicans oppose it. Republicans overwhelmingly, and moderates in the majority. So, you know what, man? Stupidest day in U.S. history. And I'm sorry I have to do this to you guys. I'm sorry, but I'm not done. And Andy Pudster, big jobs numbers. What will it take for liberals to admit an economic boom? They won't. There are tweets going around where they're like, you can't tie economic activity to the president. It's not that easy. It's like, oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. I don't care, dude. The Democrats give credit to the Democrats. The Republicans give, everybody always blames the other side and gives credit to themselves. So I tell you this. The economy under Bush was Bush's fault. The economy under Obama was Obama's fault. And the economy under Trump is Trump's fault. Plain and simple, okay? Obama had to inherit Bush's, fine. Trump had to inherit Obama's, fine. I think Trump had an advantage compared to Obama, but the numbers are Trump's credit, okay? Obama didn't do the worst job in the world. Bush, we had the 2008. And a lot of people would blame Clinton for that, but maybe, but the point is, I'm not going to play games where everyone tries to point fingers in whatever direction, I'm sorry to say this. I'm sorry. But there's more. I'm only going to quickly go through some of these next few articles and I'll wrap things up. But Lindsey Graham slams the FBI's investigation into President Trump's 2016 campaign as a criminal enterprise that got off the rails. Yes, the IG report came out and sure enough, yeah, we know it was bad. Certainly we're seeing the partisan pushback where the left is saying, oh, this debunks Trump, and the right is saying, oh my God, this implicates the FBI. But the fact remains, the FBI had several inconsistencies, errors, and it's just a reality, okay? Did Trump get the greatest victory, the one he wanted? No, but it's still good news for Trump. Let's not play games. I already showed you this poll, right? That impeachment has improved Trump's likelihood of winning. But now I bring you to a final thought. You see, impeachment has backfired, as I show you right now. And what do you think the response from the left and the Democrats has been? And obviously not everybody on the left, but the tribal Democrats, the tribal leftists. I love it. I love it. Before you, let me read you this great tweet with 1,095 retweets. So many. Hashtag impeachment backfire, trending immediately after articles of impeachment are announced, is just further proof of foreign, specifically Russian, interference in our democracy and elections. Yes, this lady in Vegas truly believes that all Republicans are secretly Russians. Because the fact is, 63 million people voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump has many followers. Naturally, they will start using the hashtag to point out the polls are in Trump's favor. This is officially the stupidest day in U.S. history as far as I'm concerned. And I showed you already impeachment backfiring was trending on Twitter. So now they're saying it's Russians. All the Republicans are Russians. I will wrap this segment up in a nice little bow, ending with a tweet from myself. I said, in what may be the stupidest moment in U.S. history, Democrats announced articles of impeachment 1 hour before announcing the USMCA, handing a major victory to Trump, days after a report showing massive job and economic growth, and growing opposition to impeachment in swing states. They're still doing it. They could have gone for censure. I love it. Pizza Party USA's response was, it shows that they can walk and chew gum. And it gives ownership of the deal to Pelosi. That's literally what the Democrats have been trying to push their talking points. Nice try, though. Abuse of power, obstruction of Congress. To which I responded, that's exactly what will convince swing voters to reject Trump. Listen, I know things are going really well for you right now, but Democrats can walk and chew gum at the same time. All the reason to rock the boat come 2020 and vote for, I don't know, Biden, I guess? You just vote for him? Yeah, is that what you got? Sorry, that's not going to work. Welcome to the stupidest day in American history. Thanks, Democrats. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at youtube.com/TimCastNews at 6 p.m., and I will see you all there.